Our next topic is about research framework. Research framework is normally used as a guide for researchers so that they are more focused on the scope of their studies. It can be presented using visual diagrams, charts, etc. And narrative. Narrative is a paragraph stating the concepts and relationship of the study. So again, research framework in simple terms means it is a plan or a guide na nagpapakita kung paano nyo ba ginawa yung research nyo at kung ano-anong parts ba yung magkakakonek. Ang nilalaman ng research framework ay main ideas or theories behind your studies, pwede ring factors or variables na hinahanap mo. Tapos, yung mga factors na to, paano ba sila nagiging related sa isa't isa? For example, you would like to research about sleep affects student grades or how sleep affects students' grade. Your framework shows the connection between sleep hours and academic performance. Since we're talking about conceptual framework or research framework, let's differentiate the two types of framework. First one is theoretical framework. Theoretical is commonly used for studies that anchor on time-tested theories that relate the findings of the investigation to the underpinning relevant theory of knowledge. Pag sinabi mo kasing theoretical, it is based on existing theories or ideas from the experts. Tapos, ine-explain to kung bakit nangyayari ang isang bagay based sa research na nagawa na before. Theoretical framework support your study with proven theories. For example, si Piaget's theory of learning to explain how students understand new concepts. And then next is conceptual framework. Conceptual refers to the actual ideas, beliefs, and tentative theories that specifically support the study. It is primarily a conception or model of what is out there that the researcher plans to studies. So again, conceptual framework, ito yung sarili mong idea or plano kung paano ba yung mga factors or variables sa pinag-aaralan mo ay magko-connect-connect sa isa't isa. Ikaw ang magke-create nito based dun sa research problem or sa research paper topic mo. Always remember, conceptual framework, i-guide nito yung study and isa-show niya yung relationship between key parts ng research paper mo. So, example, showing that study time affects exam scores in your research. So, di ba kapag halimbawa mag-exam kayo, it depends naman kung nag-aaral ka ba before the exam or gaano katagal ka ba nagre-review before the exam. Kung masasagot mo ba yung mga test sa exam. So again, pag pinag-differentiate mo siya, theoretical framework comes from existing theories. So galing na siya sa mga experts. Conceptual framework comes from your own ideas and how you think the parts of your study are related. Next on our topic is similarities of theoretical and conceptual framework. The following are the similar characteristic of theoretical and conceptual framework. First, provide an overall view of the research study. Second, anchor a theory that supports the study. Third, guide in developing relevant research questions or objectives. Fourth, help justify assumptions or hypotheses. 5. Aid in choosing appropriate methodology. 6. Help in gathering and interpreting data. And 7. Guide in identifying possible threats to validity. Yung nasa baba na square dyan na may column, a summary of the differences of theoretical and conceptual framework. So, makikita nyo kung saan ba sila nagkakaiba. Yung nandito sa left side, content of discussion, range, theories presented, time frame, ito yung criteria kung paano nagkakaiba yung dalawa. So, content of discussion. Sa theoretical, it focus on specific theory used already in the field. So, in short, may theory na to na ginamit before. Sa conceptual naman, focus on concepts related to your study. And then next criteria is range. Theoretical is broader in sense. It is also applicable in different studies. So marami kang pwedeng gamitan pag theoretical since about theory siya. Pag conceptual naman, it is narrower or focus, and it also directly related to a specific study. So pag sinabi natin tungkol sa medicine lang. Pag sinabi natin tungkol sa education, dun lang yung magiging focus nila. Next criteria, theories presented. Theoretical presents one or more theory at a time and specifically related to the current study. Conceptual may synthesize one or more theories or concept related to current study. So, almost the same lang naman. Basta nakadepende sa kung anong theory ba siya kinuha. Tapos yung isa naman, it's either one or more theory na pinagsama niya which is related to the research study na ginagawa. And then time frame. Usually, theory is established before the study, and conceptual, a working concept during the time of study. So again, ang pagkakaiba nila, pag sinabi mong theoretical, bago pa yung study, may theory na. Pag conceptual naman, habang ginagawa yung study, doon mo nakukuha yung concept ng pinaka-research. So, in short term, theoretical and conceptual frameworks both help you build your research by organizing ideas, showing connections, and supporting your study with evidence. Always. If ever nagagawa kayo ng research paper, lagi yung tatandaan, kailangan meron kayong evidence sa kahit anumang topic na gagawin natin sa research. Why? Kasi meron kayong pagkukunan ng mga resources. So, pwede kayong mag-organize ng idea using different resources. Pwede sa libro, pwede sa internet, pwede kayong mag-interview ng iba't ibang klase ng tao. Depende sa kung anong magiging topic mo or kung sino ang magiging target population mo. Tapos, pagkakuha nyo ng resources na to, ng ideas na to, pwede nyo nang ipakita kung ano ba yung connection nila sa isa't isa para masupport yung research paper or study na ginagawa nyo. Next on our lesson is about hypothesis. A hypothesis is a tentative statement about the relationship between two or more variables. It is a specific and testable prediction on what you expect to happen with the variables in your study. It is also described as an educated guess of what possibly the result would be of your research, which should be supported on existing theories and knowledge. So again, hypothesis, it is what you think will happen in your study based on what you already know. So pwedeng ang hypothesis kasi na mention dyan, testable siya. So in short, pwede siyang mag-prove ng tama, pwede siyang mag-prove ng mali. It is mostly used in quantitative research, and hypothesis helps guide your data collection and analysis. So again, a hypothesis is a guess or prediction that your research will try to prove or disapprove. Here are some of the guidelines in formulating hypothesis. First, before writing your specific hypothesis, spend more time researching about the topic you are interested. Next, your independent variable. Independent variable must be included in your hypothesis. And the relationship of your variables must be reflected in your hypothesis. Will your independent variable affect your dependent variable? So again, before kayo magkaroon ng educated guess or hypothesis doon sa inyong research paper, always remember, mag-research muna kayo ng ilang beses tungkol sa topic ninyo. Tapos, pag sinabi mo na independent and independent variable, It means kung connected ba sila sa isa't isa. For example, pag independent variable, it is the cause or thing you change in an experiment. Ito yung something na nakokontrol nyo. Pag dependent variable naman, ito yung effect or result nung ginawa nyong experiment or anong nangyari dun sa pagbabago na ginawa ninyo sa research. So again, independent variable is something na ikaw ang nag-change or nagbago. Pag dependent variable, ito yung naging result nung binago mo regarding sa research ninyo. Okay? So, another guidelines that we have for formulating hypothesis are your hypothesis should be simple and specific as possible. If your hypothesis is vague and complicated, it would be difficult to find the answer to your question. So, pag sinabi mong simple, ibig sabihin madali siyang maintindihan. Next, your hypothesis should be concise and comprises clear and simple language. Make it short and simple for it to be easily understood and avoid any misconception or misunderstanding. Magsisimula kayo sa basic words lang. Huwag niyo siyang gawing complicated. Huwag kayong gumamit ng mga scientific word na kayo lang yung nakakaalam. Next, your hypothesis should be testable without violating ethical standards. It means that it could be investigated and measured through a scientific method such as statistical analysis and data interpretation. So, pag sinabi mong testable, pwedeng mag-create ng investigation at pwede din siyang ma-measure using scientific method, parang something like experiment. Next on our guidelines is your hypothesis must be falsifiable. It means that your hypothesis can be proven wrong through experiments or empirical data. There are no absolute answers to research questions, but there is a possibility of validating the hypothesis to be true beyond a reasonable doubt. So again, kapag hypothesis siya, merong possibility na maging tama ang resulta at pwede rin namang maging negative ang resulta. But always make sure na pag validate ang hypothesis, it's either it could be proven wrong because of the experiments or it can also be proven true because of some data. That will be the end of our lesson on the conceptual framework and hypothesis. Always remember, a conceptual framework helps you organize your ideas and shows the relationship between the key parts of your study. A hypothesis is a clear, testable guess or prediction about what you expect to find. Both are important tools that give you research direction, focus, and structure. Keep practicing, stay curious, and see you in the next lesson.